time, weather, and always class.
Breath control and bad decisions. It's our game. With Gen X and Salty J, we'll shout it loud. A celebration of life. Come join the crowd.
We were watching the Challenger explosion and the day the school got quiet. Welcome back to Breath Control and Bad Decisions, the podcast where we survived lawn darts, hose water, and emotional trauma, delivered via AV cart. Today's episode, it's not light, but it's important, especially in light of the fact that Artemis 2 just went up the other day. Because if you're Gen X, you don't just remember the Shuttle Challenger disaster, you remember exactly where you were when the teacher rolled in that TV. I'm your host, Gen X, and this is my co-host,
Salty J. I'm happy to do this episode. It's dark, it's hard, and it's probably not the most pleasant one we'll do, but it's one we should all talk about. And it was the most exciting day of school ever until it wasn't. So
Exactly.
the space you feel the same way?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so the Space Shuttle Challenger, it happened about 73 seconds after it launched in Cape Canaveral. I was in Tallahassee, which is somewhere between 250, 300 miles away, but they still took us outside to watch it. And I can remember everybody being quiet, the teachers telling us to quit playing around, look at the sky. And it was tiny, tiny from where I was at, but it went up in the air and then it split and there was an explosion. And we didn't know if that was normal. We didn't know if that's what we were supposed to see. And there was no sound where we were at. It was just like a bright streak. It split up. There's big cloud and everything hung in the sky. And instead of getting like counseled or debriefed, we got recess. We were sent out there. The teachers were crying, and I think all of us just felt confused. So, did you watch it on an AV cart or where were you when it happened?
So I was a freshman in high school, and I was in world geography class. So I was in world G, and the teacher wheeled it in on wheeled in the AV cart and had the TV on it and tuned it in. And we were all sitting there watching just with bated breath. And bear in mind, at our age, we hadn't seen anything like that before. These things that had space exploration had happened before most of us were born or when some of us were very, very little. So this is our first opportunity to really be able to witness this and see it. And we were sitting there watching and watching the countdown and excited to be able to experience this in real time. Not quite as real time as you, since you were outside and you were 250 miles away, right? But we were able to watch it, and you could feel the excitement in the class. We were excited to be able to witness this. We watched it, and it goes up, and we're like, "All right, that looks good." And then all of a sudden, you see the explosion, and you see the white smoke, and see it split off into a Y, and everybody just got silent because, like you, we didn't know if that was supposed to happen. We had not having witnessed anything like that before. We didn't know if that was supposed to happen. And then we heard them talk on the TV, and then we
Yeah.
knew this is not good. This is bad. And I remember our teacher I don't think he really knew what to do because he was just as in shock as we were. And I think he left the TV on for a little bit and then he shut it off, and we didn't talk about it. We didn't
Yeah.
talk about it. We kind of went straight into our lesson. That was the thing. We just went right into World G after that because he couldn't, as a grown man, he couldn't process it. Here we all are 14, 15 years old going, what just happened? Are all these people dead? So that was kind of our experience. And you're right. There's no counseling, no explanations at that moment, no, just all right, we're gonna roll into what we're actually here to do, and that's learn World G. So let's get on with it. And I remember when the class ended, and we were walking to our next class, and the hallways were silent. Everybody
Yeah.
was just quiet because they didn't really they were everybody was they were devastated because we knew that by that time, we knew that something was wrong, right? And the hallways were just quiet. Nobody was really saying anything because what all you could really say
What do
was,
you
"Oh my
say?
god, I can't believe this." And to say that it had an effect on us, and you and I touched on this briefly the other day when they were doing Artemis 2, I sat and I watched it with my breath held, not even
Oh,
realizing that I was doing it, just going, "Oh my god, please let this go off without a hitch. Please don't let this thing explode, please." And I, like, didn't even realize I was doing it until it got to be, like, a minute and a half in, and everything looked good, and I was like, "I think it's good. I think we're okay." And then I kinda let out a sigh. I was like, "Okay." You don't really think that that affected you the way it does until here we are, how many decades later, and
and you're still feeling it
I
or
can
going back.
guarantee you every bit of Gen X sat and watched that if they could or if they listened to it and sat with their breath held. Oh my god, please
Yeah.
don't explode.
Well, this one too, like, when we were children, there was a teacher on board. Everybody said, "Hey, let's pause math. Let's
Mhm.
watch this teacher go up into space." And I think there was a couple teachers from my school that even applied. I know there was over 11,000 applicants to go up in space where Krista
Yeah.
went. When I was a kid, I didn't really understand the gravity because they said that astronauts were going up in space, and astronauts were superheroes. It would be like telling me Spider-Man's going up. I was in 5th
Right.
grade.
Right.
So, I don't think when it exploded, I really understood the gravity of these people having families, their kids, their spouse, watching this real time. And
Mhm.
counseling wasn't a big thing. It was like, you know, uh, there's a launch, then there's an explosion, and NASA's like, "Okay, well, it wasn't built for this weather, walk it off." Like, that's what it felt like, and, I'm sure that's not what NASA said, I'm
No.
exaggerating, but
No, of course.
but that's this show is not about details, it's how did it make us feel and how did it define us as a generation, and
Right.
so, instead of seeing people make choices based on science and accountability, it it's like, "Hey, lots of people are gonna be watching this. We've had it scrubbed. Let's just do it anyway." And I
Yeah.
think that that's where we really lose trust in authority and adults and people doing things for the right reasons. And that's why this
Um,
episode hits me.
yeah, and I think that on that level, as kids, we didn't find out about that back of the house stuff at the time, right? We found out
Right.
this little O-ring that was in the rocket booster could not handle the cold, and it made it brittle, and Morton Thiokol had even mentioned they were the ones who manufactured it, and they had even said to NASA, if I'm remembering correctly, that the executives and the engineers at Morton Thiokol had said, "This does not this temperature, this is not gonna work. We don't we don't believe you should, be scheduling this launch," and what you said is, Ass was like, "No, we've already got it scheduled. Millions of people are watching. We can't scrub it." But I don't think as kids, I don't think we found out that part until later down the road, right?
Yeah, no, in the moment, it
Where,
was like
yeah, in the moment, it was just shocking and, oh my god, what what happens now? And I think,
it was
you said it best when you were like, "Is space canceled?"
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that what
"Is
is
space
space
canceled?"
canceled now? We don't this doesn't we don't okay. That's that's a
Well,
valid that's a valid way to look at it when you are a child.
and you're witnessing this horrible tragedy, then you're going to eat your little rectangle pizza in
Yeah.
the
In the
cafeteria,
cafeteria.
and then you're just not speaking of it again. It was
Right.
wild.
Right. You're exactly right. It's because you're digesting it and nobody's talking about it, which makes you think, are we not supposed to be talking about it? It was more because they don't know what's going on either. They had no way to explain it. And school was just like, okay, well, we have schooling to get done. So everybody back in
Yeah.
class. Today, if that happened, they'd be like, we got to close the school down for a week and we have to have trauma counselors and we have to have this and that. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing to have trauma counselors, but, you know, I think that had maybe a few days later, we actually had been able to talk about it, and I'm just speaking from my experience in my school, and there might have been classes in my school that did talk about it, you know?
Yeah.
There absolutely might have been, and I'm sure that I will hear from classmates who will say, "No, I we did talk about it," but it might have just been the classes that I had. I don't remember having a astronomy class until I was a sophomore, so,
Or maybe they
um
just had a more emotionally intelligent teacher that
Ex
helped walk the
right.
kids through it.
Right. It's and as a kid, when you see teachers visibly shaken and crying,
Yeah.
oh, that that just makes you feel I don't wanna use the word unsafe, but it just makes you feel, "Oh my god, something
Yeah.
we're not as safe here as we think we are." Um, because adults are crying, teachers are crying, and they were affected by it too, obviously, and they knew full on the effect because they were adults. And they had
Right.
to get back to teaching.
I just think that this is one thing that just makes our whole generation more skeptical
Mhm.
and less trusting of institutions.
Sure.
And it's, I don't think our generation as a whole we panic, but we also don't go blindly into situations like you would expect either. It's not always listening to bureaucracy or
Yes.
I don't know. I'm thinking of Cartman on South Park, like, don't question my authority. Like I think as a generation we're a little bit more cynical and we ask more questions and things like this is why we do it. And
Right.
and internally now, we just prepare for everything to go wrong, like, forever because we just expect it and try to brace for it.
Yeah, I think that that's I would agree with that. It's I think one of the times when you realize as a kid that adults don't have all the answers. You think people are there, adults know what they're doing. This is
Yeah.
NASA, they know what they're doing. They would protect their own. They would be protective of this, and then as you learn more and more and more about the full story and you see the I don't wanna say the conferences, I'm not thinking the right word, the depositions, and you see all of this at later, as an adult, you can certainly go and find those on YouTube if you've never seen them. If you saw that and learned that, when you were our age and you watched this, you went, "Oh my god, they don't care. It's about the bottom line." That was
Yeah.
our first inkling of big business, NASA as it were. They don't care about what we think that they should care about. They care
Yeah.
about money and the bottom line, and the bottom line was, "We have millions of people watching. This is a teacher going up in space. We can't disappoint anybody, so despite your concerns, it's just a little O-ring, what can happen?" Well, now we know what can happen, and now,
Yeah.
that's what makes you very untrusting of the man, right? It's the whole,
Exactly.
they don't have our best and they didn't have their own astronauts' best interest at heart. They had their own.
Yeah. You trust them to have everybody's. And,
Right.
I know they've changed like some of their safety protocols. I feel like eventually there was more transparency, but not in the beginning.
Mm-mm.
And, it's just a page in our book where innocence got dog-eared. Like it's like real world drama way before even puberty.
And it's of a big organization of NASA, for God's sake. When I was 11, we had gone to Houston. I remember we went to NASA. We got to tour there, and I was just in awe. I never wanted to be an astronaut. I'm a bit of a chicken shit. Space scares the hell out of me. I'm like, nope, I do not want to go up in space. If I not entering that, I have no desire to go up in space. Let everybody else who wants to go go. But I loved the experience of being at NASA and learning it. Like, I like learning. I like learning about that stuff. It's very intriguing and very interesting to me. I just don't want to experience it personally myself because I'm a chicken shit when it comes to that kind of stuff. And, you know, having been there and then 3 years later this happens, you're like, "Oh my god, they don't care. They don't
Yeah.
care." And it's it's the business decision that they made.
Yeah.
It was a
And
business decision, and that's why a lot of Gen X, and I'm not gonna speak for everybody, I think I can speak certainly for you and I and a lot of my friends, way that we're very, very cynical when big business or somebody goes, "Don't worry, we have this." I don't believe you.
Yeah, and you wanna trust them. We looked at it, like, with the teacher going up, it felt like somebody we knew was going up there, you know? It's kinda like
Yeah.
when we watch those TV shows, you feel like you grew up with certain characters. Well, this was a teacher, and it could have been our teacher, and our teacher might have even applied, who knows? But I did wanna go to space camp, I didn't. We didn't have the money, I didn't really have the drive that I probably should have to do it, but I thought it was awesome, and
Yeah.
I'm kinda glad now, but yeah, if things were different, I think this experience would have been, if it would have been successful, so many more kids would wanna be astronauts or engineers, and it could have been a beautiful learning experience, and it was one of those things where it was just rushed and, they wanted to do it before the president spoke, and it had already been delayed, and
Mhm.
they knew better. They just asked the top experts to reconsider and just let it go, and that's what happened, you know?
And, the hell of it is the company that produced the O-rings flat out told them, "No, do not do this." Because NASA ignored it, they were still held responsible. I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about that because they knew that product was that's what it was built for, but it wasn't built for those temps, and that's why you have those standards of stopgaps in place. Well, it's below this temperature, so you don't do it. We have that now. This gas is inert at this temp or whatever, so you don't use it or you don't whatever. That's why those are in place. And so to know that it's like if I gave you something, I said, "I made this, but you need to heat it up to this temperature before it'll be good." And you went, fuck you. I'll do what I want. And then you eat it and then you get sick and then you come after me when I go, bitch, I told you, don't
That
make sure it's at this temperature. Right.
that would be
And
cookie
so,
dough.
right? So you're throwing up over the salmonella that you got because I gave you raw cookie dough when I told you to fucking cook it. It's kind of that
But
same
cookie dough
thing.
is good.
Well, sure is. And O-rings are good until they're not good because they're under a certain temperature, and Morton Thiokol told NASA, "These do not work at this temperature, you need to delay this launch." And to have somebody else just go, "No, fuck you, money is more important." That's
Yeah, and then
terrifying.
there's a video where he drops one of the gaskets in some ice water,
And
pulls
it
it out,
breaks.
and it breaks. Instead of
Yeah,
stretching, it breaks. So
yeah.
a hot gas escaped through that O-ring, burn it up, there was an explosion. Like, it's so simple and
Immediately.
so sad.
Yes.
Yeah,
And so sad,
yeah,
and it's this little teeny tiny thing that caused this massive explosion and cost the lives of 7 people, and because I think a lot of us witnessed this in real time, we have this innate ability to not overreact to things. We just
yeah.
take it in and go, "Hmm, okay, now what?" And I think you find a lot of that within our generation where I'm not saying we don't overreact at all. We overreact to stupid shit. That I promise you, we overreact. I didn't get tickets to that concert, son of a bitch. We overreact to that kind of stuff. But it's one of those things where you expect the best, but you always prepare for the worst. Even though
Absolutely.
99% of the time that is not going to happen, it doesn't matter. We saw this happen one time, and that was that 1% of the time.
And we're still bracing ourselves.
Right. When Artemis 2 launched and you and I talked about it, and I said to you, I watched it and I was holding my breath. And I saw a whole bunch of Facebook posts from my friends who are Gen X. I watched it, but it hit different because I'm Gen X and I saw this. So I watched it waiting, just tense watching this and we all did. And again, it's not that you don't realize that that's what's happening until it's gone past, like, the minute and a half, 2-minute mark, and you're like, "Okay, it's still going. Whew, I can breathe," and then you let out that sigh and you go, "Holy crap, I didn't even know I was holding my breath." You don't even think
I
about it.
kinda
Your body
thought we
your
were
body
being
just
punked.
yeah, your body just goes, "This might explode."
Well, so it was announced that the flight was gonna be on April 1st, April Fool's Day,
I didn't even think
And
about that.
the president was speaking that night. Oh my god, like, is
Oh,
this real
yeah.
life?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
I
didn't
I
even make
literally was
those
thinking
2
about that.
connections. I did not even connect them because I just wanted to make sure the damn thing didn't explode.
Yeah,
And I remember
so
that Reagan had 2 speeches ready.
mhm, he
He had
did,
2
and that
because
was
they
part of
he
the argument of making it work because
Right.
the president was gonna speak, and they wanted, first of all, to quit scrubbing it because the teacher was gonna go up and all the kids were watching, but the president was also gonna speak, and they wanted it to be up there and successful before he spoke.
Yeah.
So, there was this political pressure, which I worried was happening again this time, and I was like, "Is this a April Fool's joke? Are they really sending a manned flight
You're
on April Fool's Day to the moon?" Like, it just felt
you're so much smarter than I am because I didn't even put those 2 I didn't even put the date together and the fact that the
oh.
president was talking that night. I'm
See,
an
I'm
idiot.
cynical as fuck. No, no, no.
No,
I plan for the worst.
you just connected those dots. I was just trying to get through the launch thinking, "Holy shit, I hope this thing doesn't explode." I didn't even put the other side of it together where it was April
Yeah.
1st and the president was giving an address that night. I didn't even do that. You're way smarter than I am.
No. Well, let's you talk about music. I'll be over here like, "My name is Jeff," you know?
What? I don't remember that.
But, yeah, and I looked up and please, listeners, it's not always gonna be negative, listen to us, but you gotta understand our generation, and we gotta think about all of the stuff we went through that makes us who we are, the good and the bad. So,
Yeah.
I looked at this time frame, and on that day, gas was 89 cents per gallon. Milk was $2.20 per gallon. So, for our generation, we survived emotional trauma and cheap gas. So it's like pick your fighter, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I
like
remember when gas was $1.09 and I was like, "Oh god, this is so expensive."
can't even fill my tank.
I can't if I $1.09, well, I guess I'll get $5 worth.
Did you used to like get like $2 worth all the time and just be like,
Yes,
it'll get me?
of course I
Same.
did. I'd be like, "This will get me where I need to go and back. I just need to get to work and back. I got 2.50. This'll do it."
Did you run out of gas?
No. No,
Oh, I did.
I had a friend who, as an adult human, ran out of gas with money in her pocket. I'm like, "No, absolutely not. I do nope, no. How you run out of gas, you have money in your pocket? Stop."
I mean, I think that happened to me. I almost made it to the gas station and then I got the put, and it cut off. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna take her side on that one.
I was absolutely floored. I'm like, "How did you do that? You have money. You had and you actually had cash in your pocket." "I know, just
Yeah.
idiot." I'm like, "Yes, you
Shit
are."
happens. Shit happens. Yeah. So
It does.
before this, like the reason I wanted to do this talk is, space was heroic,
Mhm,
adults were in control, TV was always entertainment, and then
mhm.
after it, space is risky, adults
Yes,
lie.
yes.
TV
Business
is unfiltered sometimes, and
businesses do
and
not
that
give a shit about you.
they don't. And
Nope.
so, when you talk about our personalities, now we're skeptics, we have dark humor. We are independent emotionally, we are. But
Yes.
we never got debriefs, we got recess and
And
that's
we made terrible jokes about it too.
yeah,
Because that is still our defense mechanism. I mean, I remember a week later, it was, "What does NASA stand for?" "Need
yeah,
another
and it's a
7
rough one.
astronauts." But that is our coping mechanism. It is how we deal with tragedy, and I don't know of any other generation that immediately goes to humor and dark humor to deal with these types
Hard shit.
of of these things because that's how we dealt. That's how we coped. That's how we got through it. It was, okay, hey, I'm not the only sick fuck making these jokes. I'm not the only one laughing about this or doing this. And as you get older and you get into your adulthood, you realize that that was a coping mechanism, and we still do it. We all do it. I still do it. I know you do it.
Oh, I 100% told that joke or laughed at it.
Mhm,
But at the same time, like where we're at in our lives now, we think about it, and these people did have families. And
mhm.
not only did they have families, they had families that were sitting there watching it live.
Yes, that we're there to watch it. I can't even as an adult, as I can't process witnessing that. Like, you saw it on TV, you saw the that was the other thing is we saw the reactions because the camera panned over to the crowd watching.
Yeah.
So that was the other thing,
Yeah.
we knew something bad had happened because of the way they reacted, we were like, "This is bad. Okay, that is not how this is supposed to happen," and again, I know that the generation previous to us experienced they had astronauts burn up on a launch pad for God's sake, so, we're not saying we claim this, it's just they didn't watch it live on TV. We watched it live on TV. Yes, you did get to see John or Harvey Oswald get shot live on TV. That was probably something, but, for us, we're watching a teacher, and someone who we had been watching on the news, and she was explaining her lesson plans, and here's how she was gonna teach, here's what she was gonna do, and then she was gone.
I think now, like looking back, because when we were kids, they were just astronauts. It was
Mhm.
like I said, it was like Spider Man was going off in space. It was my superhero. I
Right,
didn't really know who they were.
right,
So there is a couple things that, I think we should go through about each astronaut because they were humans. Who knows? Maybe their spouse or kids will listen to our podcast, and hopefully they see this as not a negative talk because it's a real talk about what happened that we do care. We just processed it differently, and
right.
how as we get older we process things differently.
Sure, and
So,
this isn't a negative episode, these are experiences that from Gen X, and,
yeah.
we're still gonna be humorous as we talk about some of these things, but we're also gonna touch on these were some of the events that we witnessed, experienced, changed our outlook or changed whatever or affected us in X way, and this is maybe why we're the way we are.
So Krista McAuliffe, she's the teacher, and I think that's the one.
McAuliffe. McAuliffe.
You're right. See?
Yeah.
I just said it wrong. Thank God for you. See?
Misheard song lyrics, misheard names. It's all the same.
Girl, if I meet 5 people, I remember 0 names. It just happens.
You can
So,
introduce me to somebody in 3 seconds later, I'll be like, "What was their name?" I will not remember it. I absolutely
but
will
I
not
could
remember
spell
it.
her
I'm so
name.
bad with that. Yeah,
But
I
that
can
one hit
spell it. I
different.
just I can't I just can't pronounce it.
That's like me with Spanish too, but
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. I'm not right. Just thinking about it, like all these kids went and they're being told, imagine that's your teacher.
Yeah.
And then, you imagine it is, but she was a high school teacher. She had 2 kids, and her husband and her kids were watching live. And she represented all teachers. All of the teachers told us she did. And so
Mhm.
that's why every single one of us felt connected when either we were standing outside or that AV cart was rolled in.
Right, and I don't know if she hadn't been on board, if we would've watched the launch. I wonder
I
that.
don't think so either.
I wonder if it still would've been a thing, right? I mean, yes, the launch still would've happened, but I'm wondering if schools would have been showing it.
I don't think they
I
would
don't
have. I think
I
this
don't
was
think
all
they
a
would have.
publicity thing.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think they would have because it would've just been like any other launch.
Yeah. Okay, well, hopefully I'll get these names right because the
Good
the
luck.
commander and the pilot, Francis
Godspeed, Salty
Scobie.
J.
Was it Scobie? Because that's how I pronounce it. And and listen,
I believe they do call him, Scobie, yes.
and Michael J. Smith. Let's hope I say
Thank
Smith
thank
right,
thank
not
God you got
J.
that right. Smythe?
They were
Is that
dads.
it? Yeah.
Smythe. They were dads too, and probably the dads that were going around changing their kids' bike chain, and
Mhm,
told bad dad jokes. Francis Scobie, he was the commander of the mission. He was an Air Force pilot. He was a husband. He had 2 kids, and they said he was known for being calm and steady and the leader that you would instantly trust.
mhm.
So You
And I think
know,
he was he the last voice that you hear when he says, "Roger, throttle up"? Is that him?
actually, I think that was Michael J. Smith.
Was it? Okay.
And yeah,
I
and he
can't I
was a
can't
Navy
remember
pilot.
yeah, I can't remember who I thought it was him, but
Oh,
maybe it was.
actually, I think it was him, and then I think see, listeners, correct us on Facebook if we were wrong.
They will.
Smith is the one that you last heard say, "Uh-oh." I'm pretty sure that's how it went down.
Okay. I see, I
Yeah,
don't remember that. I remember hearing Roger throttle up and then the explosion. I did not hear an
gotcha,
"uh-oh" after that. I don't want to go
gotcha.
back and listen because I will tell you right now, I don't wanna hear that.
No. And he was married with 3 kids, you know? So, yeah, it's hard. It's kinda like the 9/11, hearing that voicemail to the guy's wife, Jules,
Mhm.
and everybody calls me Jules. It hit me like, "Oh, shit," you know?
Yeah.
And then there was Judith Resnick. She was an engineer, an electrical engineer, and one of the first women in space, and she was brilliant and driven and much respect to her, you know, the teacher got all the attention because it was
Yeah.
abnormal, but the other
She
people on the
did. They didn't
crew
really yeah, they didn't really talk about the others as much because it was all about Krista. I'm not taking that away. I'm not just do not misunderstand. But
no.
we wanna make sure that everybody knows the rest of this crew.
Alright, well, the coolest dude on there, and I only say coolest because, like, this is kinda funny, Ronald McNair, he was a scientist, he played the saxophone. And he also was married with 2 kids, but he brought his saxophone to the space training, so it was like science and soul.
Yeah,
"Hey, I'm going to space, but also smooth jazz."
but
I don't know.
also, "Let me play this. Let me all relax you for the evening." I mean, come
Yeah.
on, you gotta do something.
Yes.
You gotta do
Alright.
something, like, there's a I don't know if you've seen there's a astronaut photo. I can't think of his name, it's totally escaping me right now, but it's him and his golden retrievers. He's got his dogs
Yes.
in the photo. I love that so much. I'm sorry, I totally went off on a tangent. Go ahead.
No, that's
Continue.
but But that totally fits this narrative, you know, to
Yeah.
us back then, it was superheroes. To us today, these are real people with real families that
Mhm.
were cool cats, and
Mhm.
and I wanna respect that
Yeah.
and give them some attention in this.
Yeah.
So, Ellison, I'm gonna say it wrong probably, Onizuka?
Yeah.
That was the first Asian American in space. And, you know, a lot of kids were probably looking and saying, "Hey, that could have been me or that could have been my family."
Mhm.
And just for the Asian community, that was probably so much pride for so many people watching and being that my kids are part Japanese, I like the idea of them appreciating part of their culture, you know?
Yeah.
Gregory Jarvis, he had been bumped from previous flights and was waiting his turn, and that kinda makes it hit harder, almost like Final
I was
Destination,
just
like
gonna say it's like Final Destination. It's
yeah,
exactly what I
like,
thought about.
he was an engineer that worked on the satellite systems, he was patient, he had a wife. He could have gone up before then or after,
Mhm.
but this was his time, and that's just the adult perspective shift, you know, after we have processed it and actually talked about it. So,
After we have processed it decades later.
I mean, some
You
of
know,
this
we're
thing
Gen
takes
X.
a
We need like
lifetime.
we need like 30, 35 years to actually digest information.
Yeah, sometimes. I don't know how to make it light from here on out because I do wanna have a positive episode, and I think most of our stuff is very positive, but it's also positive to remember, understand where we come from, and how we can do better going forward.
Sure. And it always takes a tragedy to increase safety. Always. Look at plane crashes, same thing. It always takes a tragedy to get either legislation in place to fix something if it's that kind of thing or, engineering. It always takes a tragedy to make things better. And that's the unfortunate part of the way things evolve. Is a lot of that was born out of a tragic situation.
And it still happens. It
Mhm.
totally does,
Mhm.
but, you know, here there was a conference call, and it had the NASA managers, the contractor executives, engineers, and the engineers said, "No go." Like,
Right.
they said it.
No.
Management was like, "Reconsider," and then the recommendation changed to go. And
Yeah,
and
NASA ignored everything and went, "No." That's the
yeah.
that's it. That's where it comes into play where we go, "Wait, what? No, everybody is saying, 'No, it's not safe.' The hell is the matter with you? We're not doing this. It costs money, so we're doing it." It's again, and we've said it now 3 times, this is why we're cynical. This is one of the reasons that we're cynical of people in positions of power who think have our backs and have our best interests at heart. Nope, nope, that's not always the case, unfortunately. There there weren't even any criminal charges. Nobody went to jail. I
Yeah,
don't remember
nobody
if there was
even
any type of accountability. I mean, did people lose their jobs? Did that happen? I don't even remember.
I mean, I think that, the shuttle program was paused for, I think, about 3 years. There was
Mhm.
criticism, and I think people resigned or were reassigned, but I don't even recall anybody getting fired,
I don't
and
either.
that's kinda wild.
Yeah, well, it still happens now in big business. Somebody higher up does something really shitty, and everybody below them gets fired who didn't have anything to do with it or tried to say, "No, that's not right." And they continue to make their big money, and then they just get reassigned or they are asked to resign, but they get a massive payout. They get that golden parachute. It's
Yeah.
all of this. It's all this trickle down of, "Holy shit, that happens everywhere." Okay, okay, so it does still happen today, just, no rockets involved.
Yeah,
So,
not
that's why
everybody's
when
out
we
watching
say
it.
yeah, that's why when somebody says, "It'll probably be fine," we go, "Mm, ooh, ooh, ooh." We don't we don't like that.
I know your car's making a noise, but it's still probably
It's
okay
so
to drive it.
it'll probably be it's the plane, right? That air
Yeah.
that engine just exploded, it'll probably be fine. I mean, yes, can planes fly on one engine? Yes, they can, they are designed to do that. Everybody calm the fuck down, I know that. They are designed to do that, however, you have to contain the fire in the other engine first.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
go back to the airport and go, "We're not flying on one engine," but I'm just it's one of those it'll probably be fine.
It'll buff out.
Yes, it's the walk it off of our generation. This'll buff out. It'll buff it's when in Fast Times when Spicoli wrecks Jefferson's car, it's just an absolute it's destroyed, and he goes, "I can fix it. I'm my dad's toolbox. I can fix it." And it's just destroyed. That's your buff it out moment. It'll buff out just this'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it will. Life goes on. They got a different car. It's
We we got a new space shuttle.
yeah, but
Ta-da! New space shuttle.
yeah, and new people that we need to do better protecting, right?
Yes. Yes,
And I think
exactly.
we did. They made it up there safely. So, yeah,
Well,
Godspeed.
they're not quite to the moon yet. I think they got 2 more days? But they say it takes 4 days. So tomorrow
Yeah,
maybe? Is it tomorrow? I think tomorrow. Also,
I
they're
don't
sending
even know.
back the photos of the Earth, which is round, by the way. Just for you flat earthers out there, it is in fact round.
Oh, we're
Um
gonna get some hate mail. No, I'm kidding. Just
No,
kidding.
no, we're not. I don't know anybody in Gen X that's like the Earth is flat. I don't. Nobody. Gen X isn't stupid. By and large, Gen X is not the stupid generation. So it's just throwing that out there that the Earth is in fact round, and you can see it from photos from the Artemis 2. It is round. I'm sure there'll be people be like, "That's fake. The moon landing was fake. This proves it. That's fake."
I mean, my husband thinks I'm crazy because sometimes I think that first moon landing was. I don't
Stop.
know.
Stop. It
I
was not fake.
honestly don't know. I mean,
Do not make me
think
come down
about it.
there.
With the technology that they had at the time, and then why did it take them so long? I mean, I yeah, I
Stop.
know.
Stop.
I'm just saying.
Uh,
I know. Are you
just
disappointed
in,
that I think it might be?
disclaimer, Salty J does not speak for me or for anybody else that I know.
Salty J says whatever the hell she thinks, even if it's
Yes,
wrong, and she
even
knows
if
she
it's
might be
wrong.
wrong.
Right.
But,
At least she goes
like,
into it going, "This is probably wrong, but I'm gonna say it anyway."
well, that's what I'm saying. They
Yes.
probably made it, but I don't feel 100% confident because
Okay.
guess who said it happened? The government. You know,
The
like,
go
come on.
and we all know about the government.
The man.
The man. It's the man keeping us all down. It's just,
Yeah. So I guess this episode's going to be a little bit shorter. We do need to talk about the songs at the time. And then I just want to say that, seven people went up in the sky that day. Millions of us, we grew up faster and stay curious, question everything and double check the O-rings.
definitely double check the O-rings. If it's under 50 degrees, abort, launch.
Yeah. And Jen, I think I'm going to let you go over the songs
Okay.
because
All right.
you
I
know them
will.
better than me.
All right. So here are the 10 songs that were on the charts that I don't know if it was that day, but certainly
It
that
was
week.
that day.
Okay. So number 10 is Go Home by Stevie Wonder. Ooh, that's prescient. That's Go Home.
Yeah.
Astronauts were going home. Ooh, that's a rough one. I didn't even think about that. That's a rough one.
I didn't think of that
Um,
either, but I love him.
yeah, yeah. Number 9. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Number 9 is Party All the Time by Eddie Murphy. What a horrible song. God, he was such a good comic, and then he put that piece of shit album out. Good
I mean,
God.
it was fun,
It
but
was
he
fun, but
should
it was so
stick with
stupid.
comedy.
Yeah, just stick with what you know best. Uh, number what am I? I'm on number 8 is Talk to Me by Stevie Nicks.
Beautiful song.
Yes. 7 is How Will I Know by Whitney Houston. Wearing, if you see the video, she's wearing a very mismatched fall in her hair. It's very mismatched to her actual hair color. Just it's just one of those things that every time I see the video, I'm like, girl, could you have gotten better hair that matched her hair? You had all the money in the world. You could have done that.
I don't think it would be fair to all of us. Like, she had such a beautiful voice that, like,
So you didn't want to have like, no good hair for you. We're going to get you the most mismatching fall ever.
exactly. Exactly. Like,
Okay.
give us a chance.
Okay. All right. I'll, you know what? I'll accept that. I'll accept your explanation for that. I
Okay.
will do that. Let's see. What am I at? 10, 9, 8, 7. Number 6 is I Miss You by Climax, spelled with a K and 2 X's because sure. Uh, number 5 is Burning Heart by Survivor. I feel like I just said that word, my Survivor.
Survivor.
Survivor. Burning Heart by Survivor, said properly. Number 4. Is this right? There were 2 by this artist on the. Damn.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Number 4 is Broken Wings by Mr. Mister. Again,
Yep.
prescient for this particular event. Number 3
Didn't think
was
about that. Jesus.
Yeah. Number 3 is Kyrie by Mr. Mister. So that's weird. I didn't realize they had 2 on the chart and they were right next to each other.
Yeah.
Number 2 was Say You, Say Me by Lionel Richie from that. Oh, what the hell was the movie? White Nights, right? Wasn't it White Nights with Mikhail Baryshnikov?
I never saw that, but that song gets
I
stuck
never
in my
saw
head.
it. I never saw it, but I don't like the song except for that middle bridge where it gets all rocky, where it's like more rock,
Yeah.
and then it goes back down. I'm like, okay, song's over for me. Like I'm like,
I think
boo, and then that part comes on. I'm like, yeah, this part, this is the best part of the song. Then I'm like, the rest of it sucks. I'm ridiculous. I'm aware. Please do not post our. I know. I get it. I got it. Um, and number 1 is That's What Friends Are For by Dionne Warwick and Friends. And Friends.
which is one of my favorite songs
Is it?
ever.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Aw.
don't love Dionne Warwick so much, but seriously, that's probably one of my top 10 songs ever.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
I don't
Weird, huh?
particularly care for it
Told you my
myself, but that's
playlist
okay.
is different.
And we all have different we all have different likes. It's okay. It is okay. I remember so we were talking about the prices of gas and milk. Milk being $2.20 per gallon, it's only like $3.99 per gallon where I am. It's not that
Yeah, it's not that.
it's not that high. Everybody's talking about how expensive it is, and then I'm looking at these prices. I'm like, that's not that big of an increase in that long from that time. That's 40 years.
We get
40
spoiled. I was
years.
just in
It's $1.79 more expensive where I am.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
You're like,
just
"I can handle this."
I'm just pointing that out. It's $1.79 more expensive per gallon. And where I am, I understand in other places it is more expensive. I totally get that.
And I think it's gonna go back down soon. We're gonna
Yeah.
survive because that's what we do.
Yeah, we do. So don't come at me
Alright.
about how expensive your milk is. I don't care.
Or
I don't care.
eggs.
I'm just saying. I'm just pointing out that where I am, it's only $1.79 more than it was 40 years ago, which is pretty damn good.
Well, I did think it was neat to look that up because I was trying to just refresh myself on all of the Challenger stuff. You remember on our birthdays, we used to get these cards and it would say, "What's the top songs? Who shares the birthday with you?" So I was just thinking of kind of that theme, like what was the cost of milk? And, I
No,
didn't
I
want to
think
go
that's
crazy
I
with details,
no,
but
it's great. Well, because you and I both have the issue where we go down a rabbit hole and then, like, at 3 hours later, we're like, "What was I doing?
yeah,
What was I supposed to
yeah,
be researching again? I can't remember." I found this other cool shit, though. It's like when you go into your attic. It's Canada. I always call Canada America's attic because you forget that it's up there, and then you go to Canada, you're like, "God, there's a whole bunch of cool shit up here."
yeah. And drugs. When I went to Canada, I thought it was going to be so beautiful and clean. And it was until it wasn't.
Well, that
Like,
could be said
5
of
blocks
every place.
in, there was, like, everybody doing, like, fentanyl leans and
Uh,
syringes everywhere,
that
so
could be I mean, that could be said of most cities. I'm just throwing that out there.
it
Be said of my
could,
ci
it
it
could.
could be said of my city too, and I love it here, but, you go with
I
certain
just
certain places, and you're like, "Oh, it's disgusting down here."
I just thought that it was so clean and perfect, and you hear about the good healthcare, and then you learn more about it, and you're like, "Okay, I'm so grateful to be an American." Like, seriously.
Seriously, you
But
guys.
it is, yeah. So God bless
Alright.
America, and, yeah, next talk is gonna be about MTV, so,
Yes, the birth of
expected to cheer
MTV.
up.
So stay tuned. It will
Yes.
be a little bit happier. Sometimes we're gonna do these the episodes where they're not quite as cheerful, but we're always gonna try to maintain a sense of humor throughout. So, we're glad you're here. We're glad you listened. If you remember the Challenger, and I'm sure that you did, come into our Facebook group and let us know how you remember it, what class you were in, if you were inside, if you're outside, all that happy horse shit, and let us know your experience from it and how that affected perhaps you're watching the Artemis 2 launch the other day as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. Cause man, I was nervous about that one.
Yeah, I was too. I was too. All right. Well, on that note, we will see you with a much chipper episode next time.